Good day, guys. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Because that's always a good start if I know you can hear me and you can see me. Hello, everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Sorry I'm late. I knew I should have booked it for 9. I knew I was going to be pushed for time. Hello, L. Boyd. Hi, Jan P. But there you go. So apologies for being late. And yeah, it's going to be, unfortunately, it's not going to be. Hi, Kelly. You know, it's not a happy story, is it? You know, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure you do already know, but Harley was found yesterday, of all places, inside the chimney of a house just pretty much opposite his own house. So he was literally a couple of 100 yards away. I reckon he'd been here, they said in the press conference, 2 days. I guess they went by the sort of state of his body. I mean, if I was to guess, I would say that it's probably going to be hypothermia, because obviously temperatures being so low as they are out there, and if he's down the chimney without his coat and he can't move, then, you know, in that weather he stands no chance, does he? Now, I've got the press conference, I've recorded the press conference. I know probably some of you have seen it, maybe some of you haven't, maybe some of you have only seen some of it, so I'll play that for you in a second. Yeah, I agree, Diane. I mean, possibly he may have had injuries, but I think ultimately it would have been hypothermia, wouldn't it? I mean, you know, in that, as I say, it's absolutely perishing cold out there. You could tell the people that were reporting there and people that were live on Facebook, they were teeth were chattering. They were absolutely freezing. Um, but yeah, what a devastating end, and to be so close to home, yet nobody could do anything. It's just so sad. I'll play the press conference for you anyway. I've clipped it up to get all the dead air bits, if you like. So, hi voices, hi Kimberly, hi Firefly, hi Brina Beans. That's a new name. I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable to me to think that. I mean, he was obviously a very bright lad. We saw that from his Facebook. To think, you know, to even contemplate going down a chimney of that size. Hi Susie, hi Joanne. That's the bit I can't understand. I can't understand how he thought that that would not be, you know, obviously just extremely and devastatingly dangerous to try and go down a chimney like that. I mean, they said in a press conference it was 13 inches by 9 inches. That is small. That is not a big area at all. I I don't understand. It's just tragic, and I doubt it's ever really going to make any sense. But I'll play the press conference for you now. Hopefully this behaves itself. I am going to disappear, and hopefully you will hear this. Please tell me if you've got no sound.
Good morning.
Have you got
I am
sound on
Police
that, guys?
Chief Robert Hickman. I want to start by thanking the community for their continued support during this investigation. I want to thank the community for your patience and your support. This is not the outcome anyone wanted, but thanks to your help and support, we have some closure for the family. We believe Harley Dilly was recovered last evening in a house located at 507 Fulton Street. During the investigation, multiple leads were exhausted. Yesterday afternoon, a repeated canvass of the neighborhood led investigators to the house at 507 Fulton Street. The house had previously been checked multiple times. There was no evidence of forced entry. The house's windows were locked and the doors were secured and a lockbox on the rear door. Since a lockbox can allow multiple individuals to access a house and the house was vacant, we pursued entry into the house. The house was entered at 16:10 hours and searched. Harley's coat, glasses were discovered on the second floor of the house next to a brick chimney. We were then able to discover what we believed to be Harley, who was caught in the chimney. His family was notified early this morning, and this appears to be an accident. At this time, there does not appear to be any foul play expected. No cause of death has been determined. An autopsy is being conducted this morning by the Lucas County Coroner's Office. It appears that Harley climbed an antenna tower to the roof and entered the chimney. Once in the chimney, Harley's jacket and glasses were pushed from the chimney through a flue and into the second floor of the house. The chimney was blocked between the second and first floor, which trapped Harley. The chimney is approximately 9 inches by 13 inches in size. In this case, were many, and the investigation was thorough. You talk about people coming together in a time of need. That's exactly what we saw throughout the community and beyond. I now ask for the same compassion and support as the family and friends begin to grieve. I will take questions. However, please note that this is a pending investigation as an autopsy is occurring this morning in Lucas County.
So, Chief, when you searched the house, at what point did you get into it for the first time?
That would be yesterday at 16:10 hours.
What led you back to that house?
One at a time, please.
Was there any discussion on going into the house in the last couple of weeks, into that particular house?
Again, through the course of the beginning of the investigation, the house was secured. There were no signs of forced entry. It was actually double locked. So nothing led us to believe that anybody was inside the house.
Was there any thought of going inside any abandoned, unoccupied house in the community, whether they double locks, triple locks?
Any house that was abandoned and unlocked, we checked with the owner and got permission to enter the house.
What led you back to this house once more?
Again, with any investigation, we start back from the beginning and just re-canvass everything that has already been checked.
What led you upstairs? Once you got inside, kind of how'd you get up? Just making your way upstairs, or was there something that led you upstairs?
We cleared the house first to make sure nobody was in there, and through that, once we got to the second floor, we noticed the coat and the glasses.
Who owns the house?
I'm sorry?
Who owns the house?
At this time, I've got no comment on that.
So do you believe that he threw the jacket and the glasses down, or they fell down, or how do you think they got down?
Right now, this is an ongoing investigation, and the coat and glasses were outside the flue of the chimney.
How long do you believe Harley Dilly had been in that house?
Again, I can't comment on that because we still have no determination from the coroner. Canine units were used the entire time that Carly has been missing from multiple agencies. Yes.
Did those homeowners ever, in the last 4 weeks, ever come home and look around or?
No, it's a summer home that they're currently remodeling.
Did the Dillies and the owners of that house have any sort of relationship?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are you aware of him ever being in the house?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is there any video that surveillance from that neighborhood that kind of led you guys back there, or any video evidence of him near that house?
The video surveillance that we got came from next to the house, and that's the photo we shared on our Facebook page.
How many days after he was last seen was he reported?
I'm sorry?
How many days after he was last seen was he initially reported?
How many minutes?
Days.
I would say approximately 2.
Is it still a working belief that that is Harley Dilly seen in that video surveillance picture from Friday night?
Yes.
So can we go back to yesterday? How did the information begin yesterday? What led you to that house? Can you walk us through that?
Well, again, I think I've answered it already. We were recanvassing the areas we've already searched, and we noticed the house. Everything was secured. We had no reason to believe anybody was in the house. There was no forced entry. It was deadbolted and locked. We had to get 2 keys to actually enter the house from the homeowner.
And what spurred you yesterday to think of that place to get those 2 keys to open it?
I've already answered that. Folks, I'm done for right now.
Can you just share how tough this has been for you guys and all the agencies that's been involved? Because obviously community members were out there for hours, hoping for a good outcome. Obviously, it's not the case. How tough is that?
I promised myself not to break down today. As you can tell everybody behind me, we have state, local, county, and federal agencies for the last 3 weeks involved in this investigation. It's not the outcome we wanted. The family has closure. That's about the best I can sum it up as. So, thank you very much, folks.
What is the family's state of mind?
I'm going to try to answer that the best I can. What would your state of mind be if you lost your 14-year-old? I can't put words into that. Can you? Thank you again.
Okay, so that's pretty much that, guys. I know some of the questions are quite hard to hear on there from the press, so I'll just go over those in a second. Let me just bring you back. Bring the chat back. I think dumbest question of the day goes to the guy at the end who asked how the family are feeling at this time. Why people ask questions like that? It's it's pretty obvious how the family is going to be feeling, isn't it? There's always one. Just to sum up, it is a property that they did previously check. They didn't actually go into the property, but they realised that it was double locked. It was all locked up. There was no sign of forced entry. It's apparently a summer house that's being refurbished. The owners aren't there. They haven't been there for a long time. They just happened to kind of go back to scratch and start recanvassing the area. And obviously they decided that for whatever reason they, needed to check inside. Now what they found was Harley's coat and his glasses on the second floor, so outside of the flue. So I can only presume that they've come, they've fallen down the chimney or whatever, or maybe Harley threw them on down and they've somehow come out somewhere on the second floor, maybe through, I don't know, an old fireplace or something. I really don't know, because people just don't use chimneys anymore, do they? And apparently the chimney was blocked between the first and second floor, and that was where they found Harley. So he was inside the chimney, obviously at the point of where it was blocked. So presumably, they obviously had to go through the drywall to get him out, and that's where the reports of them going through the drywall came from. And like I said at the beginning, I can only presume that the cause of death will be hypothermia, because it's been so cold, and if he's been stuck in there without his jacket particularly, then obviously he's not, he wouldn't have stood a chance, would he? They said they reckon he's been there for 2 days. Obviously they have their own ways of determining that. Obviously he's been missing for a long time, 20th of December, which is, over 3 weeks now. So don't quite know where he would have been for the rest of that time. It's difficult to know at the moment. There's obviously a lot of unanswered questions. Yeah, now I've just got some, I think it's police drone footage of the actual house. It'll just give you an idea of the building really, and we can see where the chimney is and how he would have got up there. So let me just find that for you. Hopefully this is going to behave itself. There's no sound to this, but I presume that it's police drone footage. So this is the actual house that Harley was found in. So obviously that's the chimney. Now apparently he climbed up the telegraph pole, you can see at the side of the building there, to get onto the roof. That's what they reckon. Yeah, 2 days is what they said that's what the officer said in the press conference. So that's an aerial shot, obviously, of the building out just across the road, literally. I can't really demonstrate on here because I haven't got a cursor, but Harley's house is the small house on the right hand side of the building as you look at it. It's literally a couple of 100 yards away. So he's apparently, they reckon he's gone up the telegraph pole onto the roof. Yeah, surprised no one's seen him climbing, yeah. Yeah. And like I say, where would he have been for the 2 or so weeks leading up to that? Yeah, Cookie's mum, he did have his own YouTube channel, and he sounded, a very intelligent, bright teenage lad, It's just an absolute freak accident. It's one of those things, I remember when I was in secondary school, there was a student accidentally hung himself on a rope swing. We never could work out how it happened or how he managed to do it. It's just one of those freakish things that happens. Yeah, so the 2 days passed. That's just what they're saying in the press conference. They were just saying that they think that he's been there for about 2 days. So I guess we'll know more once the autopsy's done. But what a tragic end. Now, I've also seen a real horrible side of social media. The sister, she announced it kind of on her Facebook that she had been informed about Harley, and just saw some horrendous, atrocious bashing of the sister and saying that she knew and she had something to do with it and the family had something to do with it. Just terrible, terrible, terrible people on social media. It's unbelievable. It really is. And unfortunately, that is the bad side of social media, isn't it? And the trouble is, there's certain people on YouTube that just thrust people's names out there, family member names, and they stick their names up on the screen without a thought of them or what might happen to them or how they're feeling. And I think people really do need to take a thought and think about what they're doing when they do things like that, because probably a lot of people wouldn't know who they were, if their name wasn't thrust out there all over YouTube. So I've just got some images as well to go through here, which we can just have a look at. Again, it's of the house and the sort of surrounding area. So I am going to disappear again, I hope. So again, that's an aerial shot of the house. As I say, that chimney is just, as I say, 13 by 9 inches wide. It's just so narrow. I just can't understand how he thought that was not incredibly dangerous to go down a chimney like that. If it was a slightly higher one, if it was an older-fashioned big chimney, the older-fashioned ones that are quite wide, could easily fit down, I can understand. But the chimney on that house, as I say, 13 by 9 inches, it's really, he must have barely fitted down it. Yeah, and Cece, he must have been absolutely terrified. I can't even imagine how he must have felt. I just hope that he didn't suffer too much. I hope that he didn't have any, bad injury when he fell. Yeah, I agree, Michael. I think he must have done it at night when nobody, could have seen him. That's the only explanation, really. Maybe he was just planning on, camping in at that house for a few days. Obviously, he probably felt the comfort of his own home because he could literally see it out of the window. And I mean, we don't know if he'd gone down there before, do we? And I don't know. We just don't know. At this time, we don't know. But as I say, they found his jacket and glasses on the second floor, and obviously at that point they must have kind of twigged what had happened. Yeah, hiding out close by, exactly. I mean, it doesn't explain where he was for the rest of the time, but I suppose it really doesn't matter, does it? At this point, it's irrelevant. Okay, so that's an aerial shot of the house. This is a closer up shot of the roof. Again, it gives you an idea of just kind of how small that chimney was, really. Oh, that's nice, Lisa Lowe. That baby wanted 1,000 subscribers. In honour of him, everyone is subscribing to Harley's channel. Well, that's a nice idea. Everyone do that. Everyone here, if you look up his name, Harley Dilly, you'll find him. He had 2 channels, Harley Dilly and Harley Dilly 2.0. So yeah, please subscribe, everybody. Just a little something that we can all do in his honour, isn't it? I mean, he was a very bright, intelligent lad. Very bright, intelligent lad. He seemed, very caring, very compassionate. And he seemed to really have his head on his shoulders, which makes it even more baffling to me that he would have, comprehended doing something like that. But you know, we weren't in his shoes, were we? So, yeah, he was very well spoken. He was. Yeah, very intelligent young lad. So, absolutely, if we could get him up over 1,000 subscribers on his channel, then I'm sure he'd be looking down smiling about that. So yeah, that's an aerial shot, or a shot closer up shot of the chimney. I thought this was quite a poignant picture. They had purple ribbons up all down the street that he lived, and I believe they were still there today. Obviously, there's been so many people involved in the search, so many local volunteers, and I mean, everybody must be absolutely devastated. And to think for those days at least, he was only hundreds of yards away, hidden in plain sight. But then who would ever think that, you just don't think that something like that could ever happen, do you? That's the last thing you'd ever think of, isn't it? Something like that. Yeah, what I'll do actually after this video, I'll put the links to Harley's channels underneath the video, and if I'm watching now, after, you know, and if I'm watching the replay, then please go and subscribe to his channel. It's just a little something that we can do for him and for his family, really. And please, I plead to everyone on Facebook and social media to just please leave the family alone as well, because they're getting some horrendous trolling, guys. They're getting people judging them left, right, and centre, saying that they were terrible parents. The parents had something to do with it, and it's just stuff I wouldn't repeat on here. It's absolutely disgusting. It's so disrespectful. It's as I say, social media's got its pluses and minuses, isn't it? It's great for relaying information and spreading information, but when you get all these people that start to judge all the victims and their families and start trying to be detectives, and you know, the things I read yesterday about what had happened was just ridiculous. And I know my mods did too, you know. Couldn't be farther from the truth of what actually happened, and just unbelievable, really, how people spread these rumours. Yeah, there's a few people, Lady D, are saying you don't believe he went in the chimney by himself. I mean, I've seen a few people have that opinion. I must say it does, as I've said a few times now, baffle me to think that he would think of going down that chimney, but I don't know. I guess we'll need to wait and hear more from the Port Clinton police. I mean, the officer who did the press conference was obviously visibly upset. He seemed a little bit annoyed. I guess maybe he's been having so many questions. I guess maybe it's understandable, and it came to such a tragic end after all the time that they spent looking for Harley. Got another picture, a few more pictures. So this was the actual coat. That was his coat that was seen yesterday. Now, at the time, obviously, we weren't to know that one of the officers had just obviously put it up on a hook or door or something. But obviously, I figure they found it on the floor, on the second floor. That's what they're saying, outside of the flue. So I guess it came down the chimney and somehow exited the chimney on the second floor. I still can't quite work that bit out. But, I mean, if not for that, if they hadn't have seen that, then who's to say they would have found him at all? His glasses and his coat were found, I believe, on the second floor. Because some people were wondering why they hadn't seen that coat before. in that house. That obviously explains things now. Yeah, that's right, Brina Breens. They said in the press conference that this is the actual detective, 13 inches by 9 inches. If you measure that out, that is really no size at all, which does add a certain layer of mystery as to why he would even contemplate going down the chimney. Okay, we've got a couple more images here. This is just another shot of the house. That's kind of only probably 50 yards from Harley's house. If you can imagine you're taking that picture, Harley's house was pretty much would be behind that person that's taking that photo. It was literally, diagonally across the road, probably 250 yards, not much more than that. And I mean, that's going to haunt the parents forever, isn't it? To know that he was there, that's just awful. So close, yeah, so close. Yeah, that's interesting, Joanne. There's a young man years ago that did this, and they didn't find him until years later when they were tearing down the house. I wonder if they would have found him if they hadn't have seen his coat. If his coat and glasses, like I say, hadn't been found on the second floor. Wow, would he have ever been found? As I say, he was found trapped between the first and second floor. So, almost, obviously, behind the drywall, behind the wall, basically, inside the chimney. So yeah, so that's a shot from pretty much outside of Harley's house, just a bit behind the photographer there. And there's one more. It's just pretty much the same angle, that shot. Pretty much the same angle. So, another tragic end. The case that we've been covering. Hi, True Helper. By the way, I don't know if I said hi to you. Hi, Snow Remover. Yeah, very sad news. It's all we seem to be having at the moment. In all the cases that we've covered this year, the end of last year. Seem to be constantly reporting bad news, unfortunately. I suppose, like the officer said, it gives the parents closure. If there's anything to be taken from it. Am I back? Dropped out there. Am I back? I think I dropped out there for a second. I hope I'm back. Can you hear me okay? It seemed to drop out there for a minute. Yes, I'm back, okay. TP's email. Yeah, I can put that in the chat for you, one. You should find it under all of our videos as well. But it's theteamphoenix@outlook.com. So I've got a couple of just news reports, American news reports, that we can take a look at. I hope, if I can get the right picture back up. Okay, so bear with me 1 second, guys, and I should have a video for you. This is from ABC 13.
Well, Mackenzie, right behind me is the house that they have been referring to where they found Harley Dilly, and you can see the antenna that he could have been able to climb up and get to the roof and get into the chimney there, and that is where police say he got stuck, and that's where they found him. He had passed away. You know, this entire community has come together in this area. They have gotten together just this past weekend. About 130 people went out for a search to see if they could find anything. And the two people that I'm going to talk to now, we've got Mark and Megan. You know, you have raised thousands of dollars.
Not me, people. People donated. I just spread the word trying to bring Harley home safe.
It's just devastating to this community to see what's happened here.
You know, this is not the outcome anybody wanted, but the negativity from people condemning this family is just terrible. That's what the worst thing is. Chief stated they're never been suspects, but so many people condemned them from the start. And I'm proud to say I stood by him the whole time and will stand by him. I don't know what to say.
The loss of a 14-year-old, I mean, I know, Megan, you don't even know the family, and yet you organized a search of 130 people. You know, tell me about what this news means to this community.
I think we're heartbroken. To lose a child, I can't imagine what the Dillys are going through. And Mark and I have stood by them and will continue to stand by them. The community, you know, will pull together for the Dillys and for the other kids in the community to make sure they have the support that they need to get through this.
You know, Port Clinton, Mark, you've been in this, you are down at the Fisherman's Wharf. It's a very small, close-knit community. Moving forward, what do you see this community doing?
I don't have an answer at this time. People need to apologize for what they said and their actions. You know, just own up to what you said and apologize to this family. They didn't deserve any of this from day one. And, you know, listen, don't listen, it don't matter, but you know who you are.
To the people that came out to help and search for Harley, what do you say, Megan?
You know, I think we're all thankful that so many people came together to help search for him. We do have a page, the Search Party for Harley Dilly page. I'm going to be doing something productive with that page, so something to, you know, help reach out to the family, do what we can to help support them through this.
All right. Megan, thank you very much, and Mark, thank you very much. So sorry. Yeah?
I don't know if this was a tip that led to this and the reward fund will be used. If there's any way that the reward fund can be used to help the Dilly family with the funeral, that's what we at the Wharf will stress. If, like I say, but you know, a lot of people have been concerned about the money. That's not the point right now, but if it can be returned, it would be used for the Dillys to try to give Harley a proper burial.
Thank you very much, Mark. Mark Wolf from Fisherman's Wharf. I'm going to send it back to you, Mackenzie, in the studio. Again, a very sad day for this entire community who has really searched for days for this child.
Wow, that's the first time I've actually seen that. I didn't realise how upset that person was about the family being kind of harassed, if you like. Bear with me because I've lost you on the chat, so give me 1 second. But yeah, he seemed quite upset there, didn't he, that the family are being judged, being so harshly judged. As I say, I have seen a lot of it online. I think at this time I agree with absolutely Firefly. I think they've probably got enough to deal with at the moment than having people judging them for what's happened. I think maybe it's just time to let them grieve at this time. And the trouble is, on social media, people are so brutal. Yeah, you can hear the anguish in his voice. I mean, it's obviously hit the community hard. I mean, it's not nice, is it, for a young lad to be found like that? Such tragic circumstances, especially the whole community's been so involved in obviously trying to find Harley, and it's gone on for so long. So for it to come to an end like that, it must be pretty devastating for them. Yes, Diane, it does seem to be a thing, doesn't it? People are so quick on social media to. I know, a lot of people probably are just, idiot trolls, and you're always going to get idiots like that. But some people are genuinely so quick to judge others, and people that are related or close to the families, and everyone seems to think they know exactly what happened, and before the police or anyone have released any information, everyone seems to have the whole story down. They are so judgmental, Ariel. They are very judgmental. I don't know why people are like that. I don't know why. I was talking to Kimberly and Firefly earlier, and we were saying, God forbid anything happened to one of my family, and it went big on the media. I would instantly shut down all my social media. I would not want people putting ugly comments out to me. I mean, how do you deal with that when on top of the grief you've already got? Yeah, snow remover. We are a welcome community, and that's very important to me, that we have got that community, and I know we do, because you're all such wonderful people on this channel, that I know that there's lots of love, compassion, and people can have opinions, of course they can, but people know when to keep opinions to themselves, and I think that's important. Everyone's got a right to have an opinion, of course they do, but sometimes people don't want to hear it. It's not the right time. It's sometimes you need to keep your opinions to yourselves, and that's what I like about you guys. You're not quick to judge people, and you're very supportive and compassionate, and that's what we need on this channel. That's what I want the channel to be like, and it's it's running perfectly like that, because these are very sensitive cases that we cover, and you can't avoid that. I want us to report on these kind of things, but I want us to have that supportive side too, because there's too much of the opposite on social media. There's too many people that, like we were saying, bash and judge people. Okay, Kimberly, no worries. I'm probably going to wrap up soon myself anyway, in a minute. I'm not going to stay on for too long. I just wanted to make sure that this went out for people that didn't see the press conference. Don't know when we're going to hear any further. They didn't say. I guess they'll have the autopsy, and they said it's still an active investigation, so they still obviously need to determine cause of death and exactly how long. Obviously, he was stuck there. I can actually just read maybe. This is coming out of News 5 Cleveland. Oh, sorry, Cleveland. So this was an article from, it's only a couple of hours ago, just over an hour ago. I'll just read this out for you. Actually, I'll just pop it up on the screen. You probably won't be able to read it, but I will read it out for you. Let me just get rid of that one. See, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take that off a second. Let's put that back. Okay, I'm just going to read this article to you. As I say, this comes from News 5 Cleveland. So the body of a 14-year-old Harley Dilly was found in the chimney of an unoccupied home near the Dilly residence on Monday after weeks of searching over 150 acres in Port Clinton. Foul play is not suspected, and it appears the death was accidental. So that is the official police line on that. Port Clinton Police Chief Robert Hickman, he was the one doing the press conference, said that Harley was found lodged in the chimney of an unoccupied home, just steps from the Dilly family home. Last seen walking to school, police said it appeared Harley climbed an antenna tower to the roof and entered the chimney. His coat and glasses were found inside the home near a flue and on the second floor of the house. The chimney was blocked between the second and the first floor where Harley had become trapped. The chimney measured approximately 9 inches by 13 inches. I say, you measure that out, that is tight. That really is. This isn't the outcome anyone wanted, but thanks to your help and support, we have some closure for the family. Hickman said that a recanvass of the neighbourhood led police back to a home at 507 Fulton Street. That is the address of that building, if anyone wants to look it up on Google Earth or anything like that. It's 507 Fulton Street, Fulton, located just steps from his family's home. The home was previously checked multiple times from the outside by police. The house served as a summer house and it is undergoing renovations. The chief said that there was no evidence of forced entry and all the windows were locked and the doors were secured. There was a lockbox at the rear of the house. I think the police had to apply to the owners to get the keys. Shortly after 4 p.m, this would have been yesterday, police entered the home, which is when Harley's coat and glasses were discovered. Hickman, who was visibly emotional during the conference, said, "We were able to discover what was believed to be Harley stuck in the chimney." Harley's family was given the news Tuesday morning. Police said the death appeared to be an accident. Police say at this time it does not appear that there was any foul play suspected and no cause of death has been determined. It is unknown how long he was in the chimney, although he did say at the conference approximately 2 days, he thought. The Lucas County Coroner's Office is conducting an autopsy on the body. It's currently unknown how long Harley was stuck inside the chimney. This is a tragic outcome to the case and a loss to the community. Hickman said, "I want to stress the investigators in this case were many and the investigation was thorough. You talk about people coming together in a time of need. This is exactly what we saw throughout the community and beyond." He did say that any house that was abandoned in the area was checked with the permission of the owner. I did see a lot of people on Facebook and stuff kind of berating the law enforcement for not checking the building sooner. But, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? It's easy to point fingers after. People are always so quick to berate law enforcement as well, aren't they? The owner of the house said that he was contacted by investigators yesterday afternoon and assisted authorities with the layout of the home. I mean, that's a horrible thought for them now, isn't it? To happen in their home. I'm not sure I'd want to stay in that home after that. The homeowner said the house has been unoccupied for about 10 years and that no one had permission to be inside the home. So I think it was a summer house that's being renovated. It was a summer home. They obviously rent it out to people during the holiday season. Yeah, so a tragic end to a case that captivated many, really, isn't it? Captivated many, I think, because he was a fellow YouTuber and obviously such a young lad, only 14 years old. I mean, God, I've got a daughter who's 15, and I can't imagine. I mean, everybody initially, of course, thought that it was quite likely that he'd spoken to someone online and been, met up with someone and whisked off somewhere. That was the initial thought, wasn't it? As I say, your mind never goes to something like this, does it? It certainly didn't for me. You just never think that, a tragic accident like that how it would end. Who would have ever thought that? But yeah, let's at least in our way, if anything, that we can do for Harley's family, let's go and subscribe to his channel. Someone was saying that he always wanted 1,000 subs, so I'm sure we can get Harley's channel on the way up there. If you just do a search for Harley Dilly, HARLEY DILLY, and this Harley Dilly 2.0, and at least subscribe to his channel. So Brina Beans, why would police hang up the jacket? It's a crime scene. Yeah, I don't know really. Maybe they very quickly suspected that footage yesterday where you could see one of the crime unit people taking photos around the coat. You can see that they were taking pictures on the floor. So I don't know if they were taking pictures of where it was first discovered or where his glasses were discovered. That's the other unusual thing, isn't it? Did his glasses and coat fall off? I mean, it's quite hard for a coat to fall off, isn't it? Did he throw it down? Did he throw it on down first? It's questions that enter your mind, but then again, I suppose it really doesn't matter, does it? It's kind of irrelevant at this point when you think about things like that. Oh, thank you, Firefly. That's very kind of you. Yeah, Heaven gained another angel fly high in YouTube. Heaven Harley. Yeah, absolutely. And if you see anyone on social media giving his family and stuff hell or his sister, please just have a kind word with them. I saw his sister being inundated with horrible messages today on Facebook, and it really was quite unpleasant. I mean, it was 50-50. There were, nice supportive messages, but there are also some really horrible judgmental messages. I don't understand people like that. I really don't. So that's all I was going to cover tonight. I haven't really got any other updates on anything else at the moment, not that I've looked into. We are going to be, I put it out to everyone on the community page if they wanted to hear further about somebody on the channel that we have who is speaking with a lady called Rhonda Glover, who is in prison in Texas for murder of her husband. However, she, from sort of behind prison walls, if you like, is trying to put together an appeal or to try and get a retrial. She believes that there is sort of corruption there due to power and money and an incompetent lawyer, and she would just like someone to hear her and put her voice out. Like I say, I'm not asking for anyone to, support or back what she's doing at this time. It's just to listen, really. And a lot of you expressed an interest in it. So that is something that we will be doing very soon. I think if anything, I think you'll definitely find it interesting. As I say, she has been visited by Piers Morgan, and she did do a documentary on a program called Snapped, an American program. She's not denying what she did. You know, she did brutally murder her husband, but she feels that she's got things that need to be heard. So we will be doing that, just to let you guys know. So for those of you that will be interested in hearing that, then please stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to make sure you get updates. We've got the new logo, as you can see in the top left. That just won by a pip. That was C, logo C, and it just beat logo B. Not by much. So commiserations to those that voted for B. And I'm hoping just to put a basic little line of merch at some point, just like a, I don't know, Team Phoenix t-shirt and a mug or something like that. Just if any of you guys are interested, hopefully a few of you will be. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be nice to have something unique to us, to our little community, so, and help you all feel, you know, a bit more part of our community. And I also, please put send some love out to Cheryl. Cheryl is a lovely lady. She's a loyal subscriber to this channel, and I was very sad to hear today that she's been taken ill. They think that she's had a stroke. That's what the doctors believe, that she had a stroke. She's an absolutely lovely lady. As I say, she's been with us through thick and thin. She's a great supporter of the channel. So please send some love out for Cheryl. And if you see her commenting anywhere, please reply to her and send her your best wishes and my thoughts and prayers. And I'm sure all of you guys go out to Cheryl. She's only, I think she said she was 60, 62, and it's just come out of nowhere. And I think it's probably a lesson to all of us, really, that, you know, you just don't know at any time any one of us can be hit with, you know, something can go wrong with us. We're all getting older, right? And you know, you just don't know, do you? So please send some love and support out for Cheryl. And Cheryl, I hope you feel better soon. Oh, there you go, Cheryl. If you are, I mean, she might be listening to this. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, Lady D there. She's saying that if you need someone to speak to, Lady D has also had a stroke as well. So some common ground there. I'm sure it's extremely frightening. She said she's very, very frightened, and I can, you know, you can certainly relate to that, can't you? I'd be absolutely terrified if something like that happened to me. You know, we'll always look after each other on this channel. You know, I'm always got my thoughts on you guys, and I'll always back and ear you guys up. And if you ever need any help or support, then please, you know, let me know. Let us know on the channel. Email me or the channel, and you know, we'll look after you. We've got each other's backs on this channel, that's for sure. Julie Johnson, which channel do you mean? Channel name? Which channel are you after? Oh, Helen, you had a stroke as well. Blimey. I imagine it's an extremely frightening experience. The name of this channel is Team Phoenix. It should be underneath the video somewhere. You'll see the name and logo. Cheryl that's been poorly. She had a stroke. She's okay, but she's very Oh, I think I might have lost you guys again. Stream's playing up. Have I dropped out? Am I back? Keep saying that I dropped out. Oh, thank you, Infinite Beauty. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, I agree, Rose West. I think a lot of people that are interested in crime are empaths. And it does affect all of us, definitely. It definitely affects me. Um, yeah, I can kind of disassociate myself a little bit from the crimes just so I can look into it and report to you guys. But yeah, it does. It does affect me, and I know it affects all of you guys. I can see it in your comments. But I'd much rather it that way. I'd much rather have people on this channel that are that way. I suppose people are interested in crime for different reasons, really, aren't they? But yeah, definitely, a lot of us definitely are empaths, and I think that's why a lot of us can relate. And it's easy for a lot of us to put ourselves in their shoes, isn't it, and in the family's shoes, and all that kind of thing, because this could happen to any of us, couldn't it? I'm sure all the people this happens to never thought in a million years that what happens to them happens, and it probably becomes a very extremely surreal experience, I would imagine, for quite a while. Yeah, it is tragic, Karen. It's not the end that any of us wanted. Obviously, as time went on, it became more and more worrying. I don't think this is the end that any of us ever thought, though. It certainly never entered my mind that something like that could happen. And when I was, watching it sort of unearthed last night when the police and that there, it was the last thing in my mind that he would have been trapped in the chimney. So if I hear any more, and I guess it's time now for the family, really, isn't it? It's, I guess they'll schedule visitation and all that kind of stuff. When things like this happen, it's kind of, I think it's just important to step out of the way and let the family obviously grieve, and if they want to express themselves, they'll do so, won't they? On social media or through the media or whatever. Well, Julie Johnson, they think that he just climbed up there, and the house was vacant. He obviously knew it was vacant. It's literally opposite his own house, and they believe that he just chose to try and enter the house through the chimney. And at that point, he's fallen and he's got stuck, completely stuck inside the chimney between the first and second floor. And he didn't have his coat on. His coat was found off of his body. It was on the second floor, and I can only presume, we don't know at the moment exactly till the coroner's report, but I can only presume that he has died from hypothermia, because it's extremely cold out there at the moment. So an absolute tragic accident. Yeah, I agree, Lani. That's an Agent Orange. Let's hope there isn't any exploitation of the family, because we know there are people that just love to do that, don't they? And not for the benefit of the families either. So at the moment, it's classed as an accidental death, and they do not believe that there's any foul play involved. So until we hear further, that is the official line. It certainly does appear that way. Yeah, Karen Game saying, I wonder how his coat was inside if he was stuck. Yeah, I can only presume that he threw his coat down first, because unless he got stuck with his coat on, managed to somehow get his coat off, thinking that maybe it would help him escape. I don't know. It does seem strange, though. It does seem strange. Don't know whether they'll be able to piece it all together, really. I think it's one of those things, just one of those freak events that no one will ever really know exactly how it happened, or won't be able to piece it together. Just appears to be a tragic accident and nothing more. But yeah, I thought that was a bit stupid of that creator to stick Harley's sister's name straight out there. You know, and to say, oh, we know we're ahead of mainstream media, we've got a source. You know, mainstream media have ethics and stuff like that, and that's why they don't put certain information out there or act a certain way or do certain things. And you know, as I say, the sister has had some horrendous abuse and trolling on Facebook, which I've seen personally today. Trust me, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And you know, it doesn't help when you've got people sticking her name out there on a YouTube video, does it? You know, for what? To be the first to say what's happened, you know. It's just insensitive and it's wrong. It's wrong in my opinion. You know, you don't need to start going throwing family members' names and Facebook accounts out there for everyone to see, do you? People that are in the relevant Facebook groups and stuff like that, they will find stuff like that out if they need to. So I thought that was a bit insensitive. I just wish people would think a little bit more. You know, getting a news story out there doesn't give you license to be arrogant and insensitive, does it? As I say, that's why mainstream media have a code of ethics, stuff like that. And that's why they only say certain things. That's why they won't give you all the information sometimes. Because it's morally not right. Yeah, virtual hugs for everyone. And I suppose we end on the note, you know, is always remember to hug your family, innit? You know, if you've got kids, if you've got grandkids, you know, make sure you tell them you love them and give them hugs, because you know, this sort of thing, it just makes you think, doesn't it? You just don't know. You just don't know. So make sure that you kiss your loved ones and you hug them. Right, okay, guys, I'm gonna jump off. Thanks ever so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for the donations. That's very much appreciated. Thank you to Firefly, True Helper, and Kimberly. I know she's had to go, but thank you anyway, Kimberly, for listening back. And thank you to all you wonderful subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber, thank you anyway. And welcome. I hope you come back. And I'm sure I will speak to you all again soon. So until then, good night, good day, good morning, and as I say, thank you again for popping in, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care, everybody.